Hey guys, today we're going to talk about synthetic division. You did this in Algebra 2, but we're going to review it just in case you need a little brush up. Synthetic division is a method for dividing a polynomial by a very simple binomial. The binomial must be a first degree binomial, in other words, x to the first power, and the leading coefficient must be a 1. So it has to be a 1x to the first power that you're dividing by, just like this. 1x to the first minus 4. This is a shortcut. The word synthetic means fake. So it's kind of a fake way of dividing. It's a shortcut for us to divide. We start by bringing down the coefficients of every term. The coefficients only. So in the 4x to the fourth, we only bring down the 4. Negative 13x cubed, we only bring down the negative 13. The negative 8x squared, we bring down the negative 8. Negative 21x to the first, we bring down negative 21. And our constant 20, we bring down the 20. If any of these powers were missing, say we didn't have any x's squared, there were no x's squared, we would put a 0 to represent that there are 0 x's squared. So if any powers are missing, you will put zeros in for those missing powers. Now, what number do we place outside the box? What number goes outside the box? You take x minus 4. You set it equal to 0. You solve it for x, so add 4 to both sides. X equals 4. You're going to place positive 4 outside the box. All right, here we go. Synthetic division, you are going to bring down, you're going to bring down the 4. Bring it straight down. And then you multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. It always reminds me of spelling mama. Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add till you get to the end. So now I'm going to multiply. 4 times 4 is 16. Now I add, and I get 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Now I add, and I get 4. 4 times 4 is 16. I add, and I get negative 5. 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. I add, and I get 0. The last number is the remainder. The last number is the remainder. So this has a remainder of 0. So what does that mean to me? That means that if I get a remainder of 0, if I get a remainder of 0, that means that x minus 4 divided into my polynomial with a remainder of 0, which means it is a factor. X minus 4 is one of the factors. So where do I go from here? From here, I have to decide what my polynomial that is left is. So what I mean is, what does this 4, 3, 4, and negative 5, what do they represent? So I started with a 4x to the fourth power, and basically I'm dividing by an x, really by an x minus 4. So if I have a 4x to the fourth power and I divide it by an x to the first, my answer should start out with an x cubed. So if you don't understand what I mean there, you will always start out one power less than the original problem. So if the original problem was degree 4, your answer will be degree 3. So my 4x to the fourth minus 13x cubed minus 8x squared divided by x minus 4 will equal 4x cubed. Now we're just reinserting our exponent, our x and our exponent, plus 3x squared plus 3x squared plus 4x minus 5. and that's what we get. Notice we started with the 4x cubed, and we just trickled down. X is cubed, x is squared, x is to the first, and the constant. Let's try another one. Here's another one. We're going to look for missing powers of x. So we have x cubed minus 1 divided by x minus 1. So I'm missing x's squared. I'm missing x's to the first power. So I have 1x cubed, that would be this one. I have 0 x's squared. I have 0 x's to the first power, and my constant is -1. So we are dividing by x minus 1. I would set the x minus 1 equal to 0, add 1. 1 is the number that goes outside my box. Okay, bring down the 1. Now we multiply, add, multiply, add. It always reminds me of mama. So we multiply, 1 times 1 is 1. Now we add, we get 1. We multiply, 1 times 1 is 1. We add, and we get 1. 1 times 1 is 1. We add, and we get 0. Again, we got 0, which means that x minus 1 is a factor of x cubed minus 1. It went into it evenly with a remainder of 0. So if my original problem started out with an x cubed, my answer should start out with an x squared. So this would be 1x squared plus x plus 1. And that's what I get, x squared plus x plus 1. All right, let's move on. Now that we can use synthetic division, we can find all of the factors of our polynomial. We can find all of the factors by factoring the trinomial that we're left with after we've used synthetic division. So let's remember what factors are. Factors are terms that you multiply together to get the original polynomial. For example, this polynomial in factored form is x plus 2, x minus 4, x plus 5. This is our goal. We want to be able to write the factored form of our polynomial. If I were to multiply these three factors together, I would get the original polynomial. Okay, let's write the polynomial in factored form if I give you one of the factors. This form is known as intercept form. We talked about this on Monday. It's called intercept form or the factored form. All right, so here we go. I want to find all the factors of this polynomial, and I'm telling you that x minus 3 is one of the factors. So I will use synthetic division. I'll bring down the 1 from the 1x cubed, the 2 from the 2x squared, -11 from the -11x to the first power, and the -12. Notice all the powers are there, all the powers are present. We don't need to put in any zeros. What number do I put outside the box? That's where I set my factor equal to 0, and I solve for x. So I put 3 outside the box. All right, here we go. Bring down the 1. Now we multiply, add till we get to the end. Multiply, 3 times 1 is 3. Add, we get 5. 3 times 5 is 15. Add, and we get 4. 3 times 4 is 12. Add, and we get remainder 0. So again, that confirms that x minus 3 truly is one of the factors. We take the trinomial that's left. That would be an x squared plus 5x plus 4, and we're going to factor this to find the remaining factors, to find the other two factors. So x times x gives me the x squared. I'm looking for two numbers that multiply together to give me 4, but they add together to give me 5. So what would those be? They multiply together to give me 4. I think plus 1 plus 4. They multiply together to give me a positive 4, but they add together to give me 5. So 1 plus 4 is 5. So these are the other two factors, x plus 1 and x plus 4, and then the factor that I gave you up here, x minus 3, and we know this is a factor because the remainder was 0. So we know that x minus 3 is one of the factors, and we list it. There you go. That is the factored form, or also known as the intercept form. Our x-intercepts would be at -1, -4, and +3. Just saying. All right, if each term of the polynomial has an x in it, make sure you factor the x out first. In other words, always factor out a GCF first. Place it on the line as one of the factors, and then use synthetic division on the polynomial that you have left. So in other words, this polynomial, each term has an x in it. If I factor that x out, I would have x cubed plus 2x squared minus 11x minus 12. This is what I would use synthetic division on. This is what I would use the synthetic division on. And x is one of the factors because you factored it out to begin with. And then you would find the other factors using that synthetic division process that we just discussed. Okay, I hope this helps, and you all have an awesome day.